Hey guys, it's Ken from Cactus Jam Board Games. Today we are doing our playthrough for Wayfarers of the South Tigris. In our previous video, there's a link below in the description, we covered the board setup, main board, player board, and the Automa's board. Today, we're just going to go ahead and start playing the game. We're going up against the Automa, which is pretty tough. We'll just do our best and hopefully they won't crush us too badly. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into that playthrough at the other side of the intro. So grab a chair and join me at the table. Okay, so we roll the dice off camera. These are the rolls I got, 2 1s and a 3. That's not too shabby. It means we can do one of these actions here for a camel where we get a land card and some more cash. We can always do a boat action with any die face, even though we don't have boats here, because we can use the blue minaret influence where we spend one of ours, and that counts for 1 boat. We've got the 2 provisions, but I think I'd rather do this. So let's go ahead to the main board and see which land card we're going to take. So we're looking at the land cards now. We're going to take this guy right here. I like this card for a lot of reasons. First of all, it is a minaret. That's fine. That means we'll have 2 of them on in our playing area. Comes with a observatory, which may be something we can score with later on. I like this feature here because of the combination of this card, and if we can get this village person, we can actually park that card underneath of this location and activate this for any die roll. So this is kind of the strategy, at least for the first couple turns. Get this card, get this villager, and then be able to go from there. Another thing I'm looking at that's kind of interesting is this card right here. Sure would like to get that sun card. It's worth 3 victory points at the end of the game. And if I can get the moon to show up as well, it'll be worth 7, and the moon will also be 7. That's 14 points right there. That's pretty good. So let's go ahead and get this card into our tableau and go through that action. So we want to purchase this card right here. And how do we go ahead and do it? Well, we have to take this action right here. To take this action, we'll need to have 1 die with a camel on it. Either one of these work. We park it here. That's good. And then we need to pay 2 provisions. Once we've paid the 2 provisions, our reward is a coin. Here we go. And we get a yellow card or a land card. This is the card we're going to take. We don't have to do anything else. So that is what we get for that action. So we've got our first action played, and we've collected a land card. There's a gap now in the land deck area. We're just going to go ahead and fill that in. Let's go ahead and take the Automa's turn. For the Automa, we're going to draw the first card. Let's get our workers off of here. So he starts with 2 workers and all this influence. The first card has a 2 coin on it, so we're going to advance this marker 2 spaces. And what it says is, spend 2 influence on the black minaret to get a star card or a nighttime sky card. Well, he doesn't have 2 black or 2 influence on the black minaret. So what we're going to do is the next action, which is to take 1 influence, place it on the black minaret, and then take a card. Which card are we going to take? We're going to take 2. It's the second card from the right, and the way I determine that is we have a 2 coin here, which means we're in the 2 row, and village and land cards are on the table on the left. Nighttime sky cards, and the sea cards are on the right. So we'll take this card right here. Let's go ahead and get that one. When he takes it, doesn't pay the cost for it, doesn't really care what the card can do either. He's just going to flip it over and park it right here, and it will be part of his endgame scoring. He's going to score 1 point for each village person 2 points for each land and sea, or land and sea, 3 points for each sky card, and then 4 points for each inspiration card. Okay, his turn is done. Okay, so our opponent took a village card. Now, thank goodness he didn't take the card that we're really interested in to slot in right here. I think that was a shot across our bow, and it's worth it for us to go ahead and get that village card right now and not take a chance losing it. So let's go over to the board. What we're going to do is we're going to place a worker. We're going to place a yellow worker in a location where it allows us to get village cards, and let's go take a look at that. Okay, so we said we're going to go ahead and get a worker card this time. We're going to take one of these cards. And how do we do that? Well, we're going to place a yellow worker at this location. It gives me 2 actions. The first one is to take one of the green cards, the village cards, at the cost that's shown on it. In this case, it's going to be 2. And then we can modify die roll as well. So let's go ahead and do the card first. Cost 2 silver. Let's pay that to the bank. We had 2 silver. I'm sorry, we had 4 silver. We just paid 2. And then the second part of our turn is we're going to modify die roll as well. Well, let's take this card back to our tableau. We'll get this guy in the location we want it to be, and then we'll go ahead and modify die roll. Okay, so we've got this card. We've already paid. We had 4 here before. Now we're down to 2. We're going to slot this in right here in this position. That means that we have 2 villagers in our tableau already. The one we hired, and then the one that comes with our tableau as well. So that's our 2. So what does this guy do for us? Well, any die roll that we bring here, when I place it here, I would normally need a telescope and a camel, but this guy comes with that. So it's paid for. And that allows us to take nighttime sky cards, and then also get a black influence as well. So that's what we'll be able to do for future turns. Okay, our turn is done. We'll go ahead and refresh the village area, and then we'll take the Automa's turn. Okay, the Automa drew a blue card, value 0, so we don't advance this marker at all. We're still in the black section. And we're going to go ahead and place a green worker if they got one, but they don't, so they're going to place a blue one instead. Where do they place that blue worker? Well, on the card that has a value of 2 in the blue area. So 2 comes from summing up these 2 cards. That puts us in this row. And we come over to the blue area, and it's going to be the second card from the left. Let's go ahead and get that set up right now. So based upon the value they had, 2, and the fact that they're looking at the blue section means that they're going to place a marker here, or place this worker here, this blue worker. And when they place workers at this location, they're going to get 2 food or 2 provisions, which they never take. They're just going to advance their marker 2 steps, but they're also going to get an influence in the blue minaret. So let's go ahead and do that first. Okay, another influence, and let's advance the tracker on their player board 2 steps. So the Automa gets 2 provisions. Anytime they get a provision, they're going to advance their marker 2 steps. And now they're down into this area. Okay, their turn is done. Okay, in one of these early rounds, I think, well, in the earlier rounds, I should say, the turns are not spectacular, and I think this is going to be one of those examples. I'm going to go ahead and take this die and stick it right here because I want 2 provisions to be available for next turn. So I'm ready to go to do another land card or be able to take a sea card. So let's go ahead and take 2 provisions, and my turn is done. Automa is going to draw another card. Now this one has a value of 1. Okay, we've just crossed this marker here. We need to come back to that. So he's got a total value of 1 right here. Okay, if he can draw, if he has 2 influence in the blue minaret, and he does, he can spend those 2 to get a blue card. We just collected the influence from the blue minaret. And now this guy can take a blue card. Which one will he take? Well, again, he's got a value of 1 here. That puts him in the top row. And for blue cards, he's going to take the leftmost card. That's this card right here. He doesn't look at the values or anything. It's kind of unfortunate because he just took this one. That's kind of a nice card. It gets one of those inspiration cards. Doesn't matter for us. He's just going to add that here, and at the end of the game, that's going to be worth 2 more points for him. His turn is done. Back to us. Okay, we forgot this right here. We have to collect a green card. Which green card is he going to collect? He's got a value of 1. That puts him in this column right, or this row. He's going to take the rightmost card, which is this guy right here. Again, identity is not important. It's worth 1 point at the end of the game, though. He'll do that every time his marker comes across this location right here. Okay. We'll wrap up by pointing out that 2 red cards have been drawn. If he draws another one, or when he draws another one, he'll finish that turn, do whatever he's got to do. It'll be my turn. I'll take my turn. And when it comes back to his turn, he's got 3 red cards in this example. He will go ahead and do a rest. When he does a rest, he'll look for comments, collect a green card, and then do a journal action. When he gets 3 red cards or 3 blue cards, 3 cards of the same color, he will go ahead and trigger a rest action. Okay, so for my next turn, a blue card has come up on the board, and I'll show you in just a moment, that I think I would really like to get. So we're going to go ahead and do this action right here. This die has a camel icon located with it or associated with it. When I bring it over here, well, that's not a camel, that's a boat. How do I get a boat? Well, I'm going to spend 1 blue influence from one influence from the blue minaret. And when I do, I'll spend 2 resources or 2 provisions. And that allows me to take 1 blue card. And the card I'm going to take is this guy right here. Okay, this is a seascape, so it's not a port. What I like about this, well, what I like about it is this right here. But let's go ahead and line this card up in our tableau. And we get these 2 instant bonuses immediately. Well, one of them is a provision. And we also get these 3 provisions. Let's go ahead and just grab those right now. Three more. So I got 4. I'm well provisioned with provisions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the other action, which is to place an influence on a card on the board. Now, looking at my opponent's tableau and knowing something about his deck, he's got a total of 6 cards, 3 that have played, 3 that are unplayed. 3 red, 2 of them are shown, 3 blue, 1 of them shown. And he's got 2 cards with 2 coins on them, 2 with 0, and 2 with 1. He's got at least 1 right here. Of the remaining cards, 2 of them will have values of 1 or 2 here. So let's think about what card. He's going to go for land cards next. So what I'm trying to do is anticipate where to place my influence marker based upon the potential roll that he's going to get, or potential value he's going to get. Let's assume he gets another 1. I know we're just pulling that number out of our backside there, but if that's the case, then one of these 2 cards, if he draws another 1, he'll have a value of 2. This card is going to be the one he takes. And if he draws, let's see, if he draws a 2, he's going to be up in the people area, so we don't have to worry about that. But if he draws a 0, that's the one he's going to take. What do we feel like? Again, if he draws a 1 or a 0, he'll be taking a land card. Let's go ahead and just mark this one. If he draws it, we get an extra provision or silver. If he doesn't, no big deal. Okay, let's see what he draws. And it is, it's a 1. And it's also a red card. Okay, so first things first, we're going to advance this marker 1 space. He's still in the land area. He drew a value of 2, and of course I'm in the wrong spot, but that's okay. No, don't sweat it, don't sweat it. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to spend 2 of his influence in the yellow minaret, which he doesn't have. So he's going to add 2 influence to the yellow minaret, and then he's going to add influence to a card. Which card is he going to add it to? Well, he's got a value of 2, and he's going to do it to the yellow card there. It's going to be the second one from the right. It's going to be the one next to the card that I just placed influence on. One important thing is he's got 3 red cards, which means he will do a rest action and journal next round. Is it worth it for me to journal, or should I wait? Let me think about that. Okay, so it's my turn and I got a decision to make here. He's going to journal or rest, which allows him to journal. He's also got 1 influence in the black minaret. If he's behind me, meaning if I'm in the lead on the journal track, that 1 influence on the black minaret is enough for him to jump ahead of me. So I'm not going to rest this turn. Instead, I'm going to play this guy right here on a card in the blue deck section. So I'm going to place this worker on one of the blue cards, and the one I'm going to place it on is this guy. Gets me 2 provisions, 2 more provisions, and I get an influence on the blue minaret. So that'll be my turn. I'll go ahead and take care of that, and then we'll go ahead and see the Automa's rest phase and journal phase. Okay, we're back to the Automa. We don't draw a card when there's 3 cards of 1 color out, because we're going to do a rest. And we're going to follow these actions right here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the last card. Is there a comment on that card? And the answer is yes. So we're going to advance the marker here for comments 1 space up. So he's got 1 comment. Next thing we're going to take a look at is this action right here, which is collect a green card. Which green card are they going to take? Well, they got a value of 2. Value of 2. They're going for green cards. So they're going to take the second one from the right. So this is their card they're going to take. And add that to their collection of cards. And the last thing they're going to do is journal. And we need to go over to the board to see what they're going to do for that. But before we do, we need to take a look at this table right here. When they do a journal action, they're going to go 1 action, 1 step up on the journal track for free. They don't pay any cost for anything. But for them to get a second journal action, they have to pay influence as found on the black minaret. When the Automa is behind me, meaning further back on the journal track than I am, they have to pay 1 influence from the black minaret. If they're tied with me in the same vertical location, they have to pay 2. And if they're in front of me, they have to pay 3. So let's take a look at the board. Okay, the first thing you'll notice with the board, there's a gap here. And this is because this is the green card that they took already. Remember, cards are never replaced or replenished. Okay, here's the 1 influence that our opponent has in the black minaret. 1 is not enough when the opponent is either in front of me or tied with me. And right now he's tied. So he's only going to be able to advance up 1 step. There's another table on his card that indicates that when there's 3 red cards in play, whenever he comes to a choice between going up or down, he'll always choose the down when there's 3 red cards. If there's 3 blue cards, he'll go up. He gets this bonus immediately, which is a green tile. Which green tile does he take? The identity of the tile is not as important as the fact that it's worth 1 victory point and it's going to cover up part of his caravan track, which we'll take care of in just a moment. So he'll take this one right here, and the reason is that he's got a 2 value. He's essentially going to take the same position as the card that he took earlier. This is that same position, so he'll take that guy. The other thing that he gets is the green worker, because he reached one of these 2 spaces here. Okay, we're back at the Automa's board. He brings these 2 guys home. Worker goes here. This tile goes onto the caravan track, coming here. In this first position, tiles, when they get placed here, get placed in a raster fashion all the way through the caravan track. Whenever an icon is covered, the Automa gets that action. In this case, it's adding 1 influence to the black minaret. Okay, so we've added that influence of the black minaret. It is now my turn, and I'll go ahead and do a journal action as well. Okay, I said journal action, but I meant rest action. That's what we're going to do right now. First thing we do is take a look when we do a rest action. Do we have 0 or 1 die left up here? And the answer is 0, so we're good. That allows us to do both a journal and collect a coin. So let's go ahead and collect that coin right now. And that coin is going to be really helpful for us when we get that. Other thing we're going to do is roll these 3 guys to replenish our supply. Got a telescope. Okay, so for our journal action, we've got 2 choices. Again, we can go to either one of these locations because they don't cost us anything. There's no green worker for us to get because he's already got it. If we go here, that's fine. Or we can go here. There's a couple of reasons why I think we want to go up to the top location. First is this bonus is available. We'll get 1 provision and 1 coin. And looking ahead, when I want to go ahead and go up to the next step, I'll need 2 villagers, which I have already. And then, well, I don't have one of these guys right now, one of these yellow tiles, but I got 2 villagers, so that's good. And I'm already set here. I've already got 2 minarets. So I'm ready to bounce up 2 steps. So let's go with that approach right there. Okay, so my turn is done. So on the last turn, the Automa did his rest action in journaling. So we're going to collect up the cards, shuffle them all together here, and have another turn. The big difference now for the Automa is they have a green worker, where before they didn't. So it's very likely we're going to see one of those actions soon. First things first, 2 coins here. We advance 2 steps. Now this next thing, this is actually something I'm kind of happy about, We'll see. We'll see how much it hurts us as well. What the Automa is going to do is spend 2 tokens from the Black Minaret. And the reason why I'm happy about that is right now, on the journal track, the Automa and I are tied for position, meaning he'll need to spend 2 influence on the Black Minaret to get an extra move. He currently has 2 influence on the Black Minaret, meaning he's got the ability to jump up 2 steps. Well, this card, he's going to be using these 2 influence on the Black Minaret to get a card, a space card. It is going to translate to 3 victory points at the end of the game. At least he won't be able to run away on the journal track. Let's see what card he's going to take. 2 coins on the black card track. Second card from the left. That's actually kind of unfortunate because it's the sun card. This is a card that we definitely wanted to get for ourselves, but that's the way it goes. Just going to flip it over, toss it here, and his turn is done. We'll go to our turn next. Okay, so like the Automa, my last turn was a rest action with a journal. I think what we're going to go ahead and do, there's a land card that I really would like to get, maybe a couple of them, but I can't get them right now. So remember, I need to have a camel icon in this spot. None of my dice here allow me to do that, so I've got to find another way of doing it. So we're going to go through it in a couple of steps here. First thing we're going to do is we're actually going to take this action. We need a boat. We have no boats in our caravan, so we're going to need to use the influence marker that's found on the blue minaret. That counts as a boat. Let's take that one right there, and we're going to spend 2 provisions. And that allows us to take this blue card. This is another seascape. We've got our instant bonuses here. Unfortunately, they don't line up with anything, but we're okay with that because it's this bonus that we're really looking for. And that bonus allows us to take a green bonus tile and bring it back to our caravan, and we can place it anywhere we want. We can also modify a die roll. So let's go ahead and do that right now. First thing you'll notice is the gap right here in the blue card area. That's the card we just took. Gives us the ability to take one of these tiles for free. And the one we're going to take is this one. You can see it's got the camel icon on it. It's also got the 1 victory point. Let's take this back to the caravan and find a place for it. Okay, so we've got this tile right here. We're actually going to park it right here on this spot. When we cover up that icon, we get a provision. In addition to taking the green tile, we also get to modify a die roll. And let's go ahead and do that right now and change this to a 4, meaning that this die is now available to utilize for this action right here. Okay, so I think we're done. We'll go ahead and refresh the cards on the blue deck, and we'll take the Automa's turn. Okay, here we go for the Automa. And the action, the first thing we do is we look at how many coins, and the answer is 0, so we don't advance this marker. And then we go to the first action, and we see that it's place a green worker. They always place green workers in the area with the green cards, and the location of the card that they're going to place a card or place the green worker on. We get a sum total of 2 coins here. Puts us in this column. It's going to be the second card from the right. Let's go take a look at the board. Okay, coming back to the board, it's going to place his green worker at this location, which allows him to place an influence on each of the minarets. Okay, his turn is done. So I'm all set to take advantage of this die face to come over here and use this action, but there's something I need to do first. So what I'm going to do is take this die and bring it to this location. This allows me to hire a villager, a green card, for the purchase price that's found on the card itself. Got my eye on one right now. I think I'm going to go ahead and get that card before the Automa can do anything to mess up my plans. And it's this card right here. I'm actually taking this card. It can help me, that's fine, but I'm really taking it for the green worker. So I have to pay the silver cost, which is 2. And this guy can go wherever there's a city or minaret card. Got one right here. And so we can slot this guy in. It's a little bit of overkill. What this means is that any die that we bring to this location has both a camel and a pigeon on it. Like I say, it's overkill for what we need, but I just wanted to take advantage of this green guy. Okay, my turn is done. I'll go ahead and refresh the green card that I just took, and then we'll go to the Automa. Okay, the Automa's turn. New card is a red one, and it's got a 1 coin on it, so let's advance this marker 1 space. He's going to want to spend 2 influence on the blue minaret to get a blue card. He's only got 1, so he's going to do the second action. First part of this action is to put a influence on the blue minaret, so now he's got 2. The second thing he's going to do is get a tile. So what tile is he going to take? Well, we're going to take a look at this track right here. He's in the black area, which means he's going to take one of the black tiles. He's got a value, when you combine these two together, of 1 coin, which puts him in this category. He's going to take the leftmost tile that's found there. However, there is no tile found in this position, or however you want to do it. There's only 3 tiles, and yet there's 4 spots. So we're going to be taking the leftmost tile, which is this one right here. And we're going to be using that to cover up these 2 locations. This first one is to put an influence on a card on the board. And which one is he going to do? Well, we're going to use the black location. That's where he is, so one of the black cards. And he's going to be using the or placing that influence on the leftmost card. And this one is going to be the leftmost card. And this will be the leftmost card. What's the other thing he's going to be doing? He's going to be taking a card. And which card is he going to take? Well, it just so happens he's going to be taking the card that he just put influence on. The influence comes back, and we bring this card. This is the one he put it on, And so that discounts his points at the end of the game. Okay, his turn is done. He's got 2 red cards, 1 blue. If another red card comes out on the following turn, he'll go ahead and journal and do a rest action. So let's go ahead and see what I'll be doing next. Okay, it's likely we're going to have to take a rest action. Not this round, but possibly for our next turn and definitely by the following turn. So let's go ahead and get set up for that. I'd like to get 1 more silver because there's a green card that I want to get. And one of the ways I can get silver very easily and take advantage of the board state is to play this action. So I'm bringing an icon, or bringing a camel icon down here, and I've got one with this helper already, with this green card already, so I've got more than enough camels here. If I needed 2 camels, this is one of the ways I could do it though. There'd be a camel here and then a camel here. Need to spend 2 provisions. I'm going to get a silver coin. This is one of the big reasons why I wanted to take this action, because I really wanted the silver coin. And then we're going to be taking, let's take this card right here. This is a Vista. We haven't had one of these yet. We're going to go ahead and take this Vista. Every time we get a Vista for the rest of the game, after this point, we're going to get a coin as well. Now let's go ahead and park that guy right here. And we got the silver coin already, so we've got all the benefits. The reason why, there's a number of reasons why I chose this card. First of all, I needed to get a silver coin, okay, because the green card that I want to get costs 3 silver. So this is a way of doing that. The second thing is, with this Vista card, I have a Vista, a minaret or a city, I have a port, and I have a open sea card, at least one of each type. When you have 4 different cards, one of each type like this, that's worth 5 points at the end of the game. And then in addition, because I have 2 seascape here, that's worth an additional 2 points, and the 2 minarets are worth an additional 2. So right now I'm looking at a total of 9 points. I think I'm not, well, I think the Automa's already got more than 9 points, but at least I'm staying up and keeping up with him as much as possible. So that's why I took that card. I really want the silver here because I would like to get one of the green cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the Automa's turn. He draws a 3rd red card, so meaning he'll take a rest next round. So he's going to move the marker 1 space. Does he have influence on the yellow minaret? 2 of them? Yes, he does. Here they are. And which card is he going to take? Oh, sorry. The 2 influence on the yellow minaret allows him to take a yellow card. Which one will he take? He's got a value of 2. He's going to take the 2nd card from the right. That card came back with a influence. He had an influence on there, so we'll go ahead and add that to a supply. And then we'll add this to his collection of cards. So his turn is done. He's taking a rest next round. So we know our opponent will go ahead and take a rest next action, and that's going to allow him to move the journal track. He's only got 1 influence on the black minaret right now, which means he can't take 2 steps. So we're okay taking another turn. We're going to place a green worker on the board right now because we're going to go ahead and try to get that card. One of the reasons why this is kind of urgent for us is because, as we know from his rest action, one of the things he gets to do is take a green card. We don't want him to take the card that we're looking at. Okay, so over at the main board, we're going to place a green worker, and we're going to place him right here. So this spot already has a worker in its location, a yellow worker. You're allowed to place a 2nd worker on a card if the color of the worker is not the same. So a yellow worker here and a green one here, totally cool. In addition, we have a influence marker on here. There's no penalty for us to place a worker and interact with this card. It would only be if there was an opponent's marker on there, or if the opponent wanted to use this card, they would have to pay us. Placing a green worker on the spot allows me to take a green card at cost, and then also modify die roll. I don't have any, so it's fine. The card I'm going to get is this one, cost 3 silver. We have 3 silver in our supply. Let's go ahead and get this guy into our tableau. Okay, here's the card. Need the 3 silver. We got 3 silver. Okay, so this card goes under a seascape card. And either one of these is fine. I really don't care. It just doesn't matter. What's the benefit? Well, if you look at the symbol here, it matches this symbol here. Well, this is the symbol indicating rest. So if there are 0 or 1 dice up in this location right here, I will get, in addition to the journal and the coin here, I'll be getting 2 provisions. So this is a way of just keeping up the stock of provisions as we play. Okie dokie. Well, I think it's time to rest for this guy. Let's go ahead and just lower these 3 cards, indicating that's what we're doing right now. This is just my own way of keeping track of this. So with the rest, we're going to see, is there a comment in the last card here? And yep, there is. So he's got a comment. He's got 2 and I've got 0. He won't score any points at the end of the game, but if I don't get more comments than him, then I can't score the comment bonus. That's part of the game. So it's only, I'm just trying to keep up with him. Okay, he's got a value of 2 right here. Oh, so let's go to the next step. He's going to be taking a green card. Which green card is he going to take? Well, he's got a value of 2. That means he's going to be taking the second one from the right. This is the card he took. Counts towards his final score, but doesn't really care about it otherwise. Now he's going to journal. He's got 3 red cards. 3 red cards means he's going to be going down if given a choice. So let's take a look at where he goes from here. And one more thing, he is at the same level I am, so we're at this point right here on this table. He needs to have 2 influence on the black minaret. He doesn't have 2, so he's done. All right, meaning he'll get one action, unless the action he takes here gets him another influence on the black minaret. Let's hope that's not the case. So let's go over to the main board and see his journal action. He's going to move up 1 step right now. Okay, the gap is from the green card that he took already. He's got red cards, meaning he's going to go down if there's a choice. Well, this is his marker. He can either go to this position or this position. He goes to the lower of the 2, and that puts him here. There are 2 new symbols that we need to take a look at. The first one is this symbol, which just means he's going to be taking one of these cards right here. And what I mean by that, when he takes one of these cards, it refers to these cards right here. And we're going to be referring to his the track on his board here, and he's going to be taking this card. He doesn't use this one for the bonus or anything like that. It's just flipped over and is worth 4 points at the end of the game. Okay, this is the other symbol right here. Now, if it was a human player, they would be taking one of the die here to have another die included in their tableau. But he does not use die, so instead he's going to be taking a tile. And for him, he's in the black part of the track, so the black cards are the target, or the black tiles, I should say, are the target. He's already taken this one, so if this one comes up as a choice, we're not going to be doing that one. And in fact, that one did show up because he's got a value of 2 coins, and he's looking at the black cards or black tiles, so we're going to take this one instead. This gets brought back to his board, the caravan board. Let's go ahead and bring that there and see what happens. Here's the tile. Let's bring it into play. Okay, 2 things are going to happen. The first thing that's going to happen is he's going to place an influence marker on a black card in second position. So the second card from the left gets an influence marker. And the other thing he's going to do is he's going to take the next card down using this track right here and take this card and also include it in his tableau for points at the end of the game. Okay, he is done. Let's go ahead and do our journal action and we'll wrap things up here. Okay, so this is our current state. We have no die that we can play, and we have no worker, so we're essentially stuck at this point. So we're going to be doing a rest action, and again, we have no die in play, so we qualify for all these bonuses. That's 1 coin and 2 provisions. So we're loaded with provisions. That's a good thing. So now we have to see about journaling. I think we're going to be able to journal without any problem. So to advance on my journal track, I need to show that I have 2 green cards in my tableau or 1 yellow tile in my caravan. I don't have any yellow tiles. In fact, all the yellow tiles are sitting right here. But I do have 4 of these cards already, so I'm good. And so let's go ahead and do this action right here. Now, 2 things happen when I move to this spot. The first thing that happens is I take one of these die and add it to my tableau. And the second thing that happens is I take one of these inspiration cards. We need to study these in a little bit more detail. Each one of these cards will slot into a spot above one of the night skies. I only got 1 night sky right now. I need to work on this a little bit better. But what it says is if I'm able to fulfill this requirement here, I'll double the score of the night sky card that's shown there. I think this is the card that I want to take because I'm already at 4 green cards in my tableau. I only need 2 more and that'll be 6. And I get to double the score for the night sky card that I have. So let me show you which card I'm going to place it. So back in my tableau, this is the card that I'm going to bring into play, the inspiration card. And again, this will slot into the night sky or above the night sky card. And it goes like so. So this card right here, this says for every green card and tile that you have in your tableau. So every green card, and I have 4 of them, and tiles in my caravan, every combination or every pair of them is worth 1 victory point. And this means if I can get 6 of the village cards or the green cards down here, I will double this again. So as of right now, this card is worth 1 victory point because I've got 1 tile in my caravan. Even though I have 4 villagers, I have 1 pair out of the 4 possible that are shown here. And then this, if I can get 2 more villagers in play, that will double this, will go up to a score of 2. Obviously I got to work on this to make it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and wrap up my turn by rolling the die. Got a lot of 2s. Unfortunately, got a lot of 2s. Can't do a lot with that, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to figure out a way of fixing that to make it so it doesn't really matter so much. And that obviously we're going to be adding tiles to this space. So let's go ahead and wrap up there. Okay guys, I think that's a good place to stop for our playthrough for today. Just a couple thoughts just to wrap up. As you've seen already, we've done a number of the actions in the game. We've gotten cards, we've gotten villagers. The only thing I haven't done yet is got a night sky or a black card yet. That's something that we'll definitely be picking up in the next video. The journal track is central to the game. It's how the game progress is tracked. When the first player reaches that last position, it triggers the end of the game. We're nowhere near that yet. We still got a lot more to go. But it should be noted that in the manual, it says experienced players are not racing to the end of the journal track, and instead they're looking at it and using it as much as possible to maximize their score. So based upon your choices on the journal track, it will determine how fast you're able to move down it, but also what kind of benefits you get as well. So there may be a marker that you're going for, something where you can get a green card for free. That's something that's got to be part of the strategy when you're playing the game. When talking about the game, we got to talk about strategy. And I will say this game is complicated. It's heavy. There's a lot going on with it, with the dice placement, with the worker placement, cards, and everything else. There's a lot of moving parts here, and it can be a little bit overwhelming at first. And I will say, for me, it was overwhelming the first time I played it. It was very, well, it was challenging. I'll say that straight up. But But as I play this game more and more and start to put all the parts together, I realize, wow, there's so much potential in this game and so much going on. It is well worth the effort to stick with it and play it at least twice before you really start making decisions about it. Give it a second shot. If you've played it and had a tough time, try it again, and I think you'll like it. So related to that, the iconography, it's kind of related to the complexity as well. There's a lot going on with the iconography. However, I will say if you're familiar with the West Kingdom series, you've definitely got a leg up. So if you're coming from that environment, the West Kingdom, I think you're going to be able to jump into the game pretty quickly. I can't think of anything else that I really want to say right now, except that I really, really enjoy Wayfarers of the South Tigris. And it's definitely something that I would recommend. And I've gotten to the table with some of my gaming buddies already, and I'm looking forward to doing it with the rest of the group when they come by. So at that point, I think I want to say thank you for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you could, a thumbs up is something that is really appreciated. It helps our channel. Also, a subscription to the channel as well. It doesn't cost you guys anything, and it helps us tremendously. So if you could do that, thank you so very much. And keep an eye out for our videos. We'll pick up where we left off with the South Tigris, and we've got other videos lined up in the next couple months. So without further ado, thank you much. We'll see you next time.